Redirecting hate. Trump's Republican Party now claims to be soldiers in the battle against anti-Semitism, all while doubling down on their attacks against transgender people. What's really going on here? Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. Under the guise of standing up against Jewish hate, Donald Trump has used the power of the presidency to punish private institutions he deems either anti-Semitic or insufficient in confronting discrimination against Jewish people. Shortly after his second inauguration, Trump signed an executive order to address what he called the explosion of anti-Semitism in the U.S., particularly on college campuses. The January 29th order included a promise to cancel visas for foreign students labeled as, quote, Hamas sympathizers and deport jihadist protesters. On the surface, you might think, who would be against that, other than someone who hates Jewish people? But as we've learned in the recent months, Trump's order, which claims to address anti-Semitism, is really a thinly veiled attack on liberal institutions he disapproves of. On March 7th, the Trump administration announced it had canceled $400 million in federal grants to Columbia University, accusing the institution of failing to protect Jewish students from harassment. But here's the thing, harassment is a very vague term. What counts as harassment and what is just vocal opinion? Many students and professors at Columbia, including Jewish students and professors, rejecting the idea that their university should lose federal funds simply because they have a strong pro-Palestinian presence. Yes, protests over Israel's war in Gaza have become heated, but when did voicing your opinion in America become a crime? Isn't that the point of a university, to foster debate and the exchange of ideas? Apparently not in Trump's America. He has aligned himself with Israel's far-right Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and is now demanding that everyone in America do the same. Criticism of Netanyahu or of Israel should not be punishable in the U.S. under the Constitution's First Amendment. Yet Trump is pushing for exactly that. Just yesterday, on March 31st, the Trump administration announcing it was reviewing approximately $9 billion in federal grants and contracts with Harvard University, accusing the Ivy League of permitting anti-Semitism to run unchecked. Like Columbia, Harvard has also seen vocal pro-Palestinian demonstrations. But again, peacefully protesting against a war you disagree with is not a crime. As a grandson of a Holocaust survivor, and someone who is fortunate to have many Jewish relatives, I abhor anti-Semitism and the hatred it breeds. But at the same time, I firmly believe in upholding the values of free speech, even when it involves anti-Semitic speech. Silencing anti-Semitism does not erase it. In fact, many studies have shown it could make it worse. Engaging in open dialogue is the only way to challenge hate and change hearts and minds. But Trump doesn't care about the Constitution or the First Amendment or stopping hate. What he cares about is amassing more power and seeking revenge on his perceived enemies. Right now, he's using the guise of anti-Semitism to go after liberal institutions that are overwhelmingly opposed to his agenda. Institutions that have spoken out against Trump's threat to America's democratic republic. And let's not ignore the timing here. Is it a coincidence that the first two schools Trump is targeting for cuts, Columbia and Harvard, are also the alma maters of America's first black president, Barack Obama? I don't think so. Trump despises Obama with a passion and has made it clear he wants to dismantle everything Obama worked for, including the values of inclusion, justice, and dignity for all Americans. Which brings us to another disturbing aspect of Trump's second term. In addition to pretending to care about anti-Semitism while aligning himself with white nationalists and neo-Nazis, Trump has made it his mission to stoke hatred against the transgender community. On his first day back in office, he issued a sweeping order that eliminated protections for trans people and insisted the government recognize only two sexes, male and female. Trump's administration has also moved to incarcerate transgender women in men's prisons, tried to ban trans people from serving in the military, and called for halting federal funding for gender-affirming medical care. Imagine if he did that for all Jewish people. He's even belittling trans athletes, describing them as men posing as women, withholding federal funds from schools that allow transgender athletes to compete in girls' sports. On the surface, it might seem like Trump is trying to stop hatred against Jewish people while simultaneously promoting discrimination against trans people. But this isn't about fighting hate or upholding justice. It's about power. Trump doesn't care about Jewish people or trans people. He cares about using both minority groups as pawns in his larger strategy to centralize power and punish his enemies. Trump's actions aren't motivated by morality or justice. They're about one thing: control. His political maneuvering, cloaked under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism and standing up for women's rights, reveals his true objective: to attack liberal institutions, silence dissent, and consolidate power. His rhetoric about protecting Jewish people from discrimination rings hollow when contrasted with his relentless assault on the rights of transgender individuals. This hypocrisy serves as a stark reminder that, for Trump, it has never been about defending the marginalized. It's about gaining power no matter the cost to others. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.